Did you know that over 60% of children report feeling pressure to meet their parents' expectations? Yet, many of these parents don't even realize how much this pressure is shaping their child's behavior and emotional well-being. Here's the kicker. Studies show that children whose parents have overly high expectations are more likely to develop anxiety, depression, and a fear of failure. Shocking, right? But here's the twist. Setting the right expectations doesn't just prevent problems, it can actually help your child thrive. The key is understanding how your expectations shape their behavior, and knowing when to push and when to pull back. In this video, we're going to dive into how your unspoken cues, the pressure you might not even realize you're giving, and the small changes in how you set expectations can make a huge difference in your child's development. Stick around, because we're sharing practical strategies, backed by science, to help you create a supportive environment that encourages your child to grow and succeed, without all the stress. Let's get started. Chapter 1. The Power of Unspoken Expectations. Do they know what you want? Every parent has probably said something like, "I want you to do your best," but how often do we ask ourselves, do they know what that really means? Children are keen observers. They can pick up on body language, tone, and subtle cues, which means your expectations might not always come across as clearly as you think. A 2019 study from the Journal of Child Development found that children as young as 3 are highly sensitive to their parents' nonverbal signals, whether it's a raised eyebrow or a sigh of frustration. This means if you're silently expecting your child to behave a certain way but don't verbalize it, they might struggle to meet those expectations. The key to solving this issue is clear communication. Try saying, "I expect you to finish your homework before dinner," instead of just showing frustration when they don't. When expectations are explicit, kids can better align their actions with what you want from them. Another interesting piece of research from the National Institute of Child Health and Human Development highlights how children rely on both verbal and nonverbal cues to gauge how they are performing. But here's the catch. Unclear or mixed signals can cause confusion, leading to a lack of confidence or even resentment. So, take a moment to assess how you're presenting your expectations, not just in words, but in every little action you take. One strategy is to regularly check in with your child, asking them what they think you expect. You might be surprised at how different their interpretation is from your own. This simple conversation can clear up confusion and help everyone get on the same page. Chapter 2. Are you setting them up for success? The psychology of healthy expectations. Have you ever set an expectation that you knew was just a little too much for your child? Setting expectations is all about balance. According to Dr. Carol Dweck, a leading psychologist known for her work on growth mindset, expectations should encourage effort and improvement, not just the end result. It's crucial that your expectations are realistic for your child's age and developmental stage. For example, a 10-year-old may not be ready to handle complex math problems the way a 15-year-old might. But a healthy expectation would be for the 10-year-old to focus on doing their best, learning from mistakes, and improving. The goal here is to empower them, not overwhelm them. Dweck's research suggests that when kids feel supported through manageable expectations, they are more likely to embrace challenges rather than shy away from them. A study from the American Psychological Association also found that children who have clear, achievable goals set by their parents are more likely to develop better problem-solving skills and persistence. Why? Because these children learn that effort leads to success. One strategy for setting healthy expectations is the SMART approach. This means ensuring your expectations are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. For instance, "I expect you to clean your room by 5 p.m. today," is much clearer than "clean your room." With this clarity, kids can stay focused on their tasks and feel a sense of accomplishment when they meet those expectations. Remember, it's not just about setting the right expectations, it's about creating a positive feedback loop. Praise your child's effort, even if the result isn't perfect. According to the Journal of Experimental Child Psychology, this helps build intrinsic motivation and boosts their confidence to tackle challenges in the future. Chapter 3. The Pressure Cooker. when high expectations backfire, we've all heard the stories of kids feeling overwhelmed by their parents' pressure to excel. While high expectations can motivate some children, they can backfire on others. In fact, the American Psychological Association reports that children of parents with overly high expectations are more likely to experience anxiety, depression, and even burnout. When you set expectations too high, children may feel they can never live up to them. This can lead to frustration, avoidance, or even rebellion. According to Dr. Madeline Levine, author of The Price of Privilege, high expectations can sometimes create a barrier between parents and children, making the child feel unsupported. If your child is constantly worried about disappointing you, they might not feel comfortable expressing themselves or seeking help when they need it. A good way to balance high expectations is by breaking down big tasks into smaller, manageable steps. For instance, instead of saying, "I expect you to get straight A's this semester," try, "Let's focus on improving your grades in math first, then we can work on English next." This helps your child feel like progress is achievable and not too overwhelming. Dr. Bruce Perry, a child psychiatrist, explains that children need to feel secure before they can take risks or face challenges. If the expectations are too high or come with intense pressure, children may avoid the challenge altogether. The key here is to find a balance between pushing your child to grow and creating a safe space where they can learn from their mistakes. So, when setting expectations, think about the emotional impact they have on your child. Are you supporting them to grow, or are you simply demanding perfection? Your child's well-being should always come before the outcome of their efforts. By taking the time to listen to them and offering encouragement, you'll help foster resilience rather than stress. If you're finding this information helpful, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to stay updated with more parenting tips and strategies. Chapter 4. Invisible Barriers. How your expectations influence their self-perception. As parents, we often don't realize how our expectations impact our child's self-esteem. When you expect your child to be perfect, they might start believing that they are only valuable when they meet your standards. According to Dr. Jennifer Hartstein, a psychologist and author, if a child feels they have to be perfect to be loved, they will struggle with their sense of self-worth. Research backs this up. A study published in the Journal of Family Psychology found that children whose parents set high but unrealistic expectations tend to internalize failure, leading to feelings of inadequacy. The problem is that children who feel they are never good enough may avoid challenges altogether, fearing they won't meet expectations. To avoid this, try focusing more on effort than results. A great strategy is to praise your child for the process, not just the outcome. For example, instead of saying, "You got an A, great job," say, "I'm proud of how hard you worked on that project." This shifts the focus to effort and progress, helping your child understand that it's okay to make mistakes. Another technique is to set realistic, personalized expectations. If your child struggles with a particular subject, it's important to meet them where they are and gradually raise expectations as they improve. Dr. Carol Dweck's research shows that children with a growth mindset, the belief that abilities can improve with effort, are more resilient and willing to face challenges. One powerful strategy is to allow room for failure and learning. When your child doesn't meet your expectations, frame it as a learning experience. For instance, say, "It's okay you didn't get that right, but what can we do differently next time?" This approach helps your child understand that mistakes are part of growth, not a reflection of their worth. In the long run, when children see that they are loved and valued for who they are, not just for meeting expectations, they develop healthier self-esteem. This helps them not only feel capable but also embrace challenges without fear of failure. Chapter 5. From Tension to Connection. Aligning expectations with love and support. Creating a bond with your child is just as important as setting expectations. Often, parents try to enforce expectations without fully connecting emotionally with their kids. The problem with this is that when expectations are enforced without empathy, it can lead to resentment. Dr. John Gottman, a renowned psychologist, states, "The emotional connection with your child is the foundation for effective parenting." When you are emotionally connected, your child is more likely to meet your expectations because they feel supported and understood. One of the most effective ways to align your expectations with love is to practice active listening. Active listening means really hearing what your child is saying without interrupting or judging. According to a 2020 study in Psychology Today, when parents practice active listening, children are more likely to open up and express their feelings. This emotional connection makes it easier for kids to understand your expectations. Another strategy is the no judgment zone. Create an environment where your child feels comfortable expressing their struggles. This allows them to feel safe in sharing what they are working on without fear of disappointment. For example, instead of saying, "Why did you mess up your homework?" you could try, "What part of the homework is confusing for you?" This simple shift in language helps remove tension while maintaining your expectations. Furthermore, setting expectations with love means acknowledging your child's emotional state. If they're going through a tough time, your expectations might need to be adjusted. Psychologist Dr. Laura Markham points out that, when children feel emotionally safe, they are more likely to meet your expectations because they are motivated by love, not fear. An effective strategy is to engage in regular family discussions about goals. Sit down with your child and talk about what you both want to achieve. This way, your expectations aren't just something you impose, they're part of a shared vision. When expectations feel collaborative, it fosters a sense of teamwork rather than control. Remember, love and support are key to helping your child meet expectations. Without these, expectations can feel like a burden, not a challenge. Show your child that you believe in them, and they will believe in themselves too. Chapter 6. Growth Beyond Limits. How adjusting expectations can unleash potential. When it comes to expectations, flexibility is key. Children grow, develop, and face new challenges constantly. A rigid set of expectations can limit their growth. In fact, the American Academy of Pediatrics notes that when expectations are not adapted to a child's developmental stage, they can stunt emotional and intellectual growth. The first step in adjusting expectations is understanding that each child is unique. A strategy that works for one child might not work for another. Research from the University of California shows that children develop at different rates, and their abilities should be nurtured in ways that match their unique needs. For instance, while one child might be able to handle a challenging math problem, another may need more time to develop the necessary skills. Instead of applying a one-size-fits-all approach, set individualized goals for your child. This means adjusting your expectations based on their strengths and challenges. A study from Harvard Medical School supports this, showing that children perform better when they are given personalized goals that align with their interests and developmental stage. Another strategy is to embrace the concept of failing forward. Teach your child that failure is just a stepping stone toward success. According to Dr. Carol Dweck's research, children who are taught to view failure as part of the learning process are more likely to develop resilience. So, when things don't go as planned, adjust your expectations with a focus on growth and improvement, not perfection. One of the most powerful ways to adjust expectations is by fostering a growth mindset. This mindset encourages children to see challenges as opportunities to learn, rather than obstacles to avoid. Dr. Dweck's studies suggest that children who adopt a growth mindset are more likely to embrace hard work and persist through difficulties. Finally, remember to celebrate progress rather than perfection. If your child is gradually improving, no matter how small the steps, acknowledge that effort. This helps them feel motivated and capable of reaching higher goals. As you adjust your expectations, you are not just pushing them to do better, you are helping them realize their full potential. By being flexible with your expectations, you create an environment where your child can thrive, experiment, and learn without the fear of failure. When children feel supported and encouraged, they are more likely to reach new heights, discovering strengths they didn't even know they had. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more insights and tips on how to create a nurturing environment that helps your child succeed.